What's up, everybody? Welcome into Jammin with J Money. Welcome to sportsbookreview.com, man. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. I'm J Money. That's my guy Junior Browne, and that's my guy Jordan Sharp, man. Today we're gonna recap the games, the four NBA scrimmage games that we had yesterday, and we're gonna break down the three games that we got today, man. What's up, Jordan? Everything good with you, brother? We missed you yesterday.
Yeah, man. I missed you guys too. Sad I have to miss every Thursday once in a while, but that's just how it is. I'll be on vacation all next week, so you're gonna miss me a lot next week. So we'll be back in full force once we get that first full week of real action. But yeah, no. I actually we were just talking before we went live here, and I think we're really excited about this little slate of games today. I was just saying that I think all six teams that are in action are actually interesting. Ones you want to watch. Ones that are probably going to be in the playoffs, if not definitely going to be in the playoffs. And so it's a good evaluation day. Probably still not going to be firing away at anything. Still trying. Some of these teams still haven't played yet, and since March. So I think we just kind of keep it light, keep it tight today, and just use this as kind of a learning day. But those can be profitable in the future. So definitely don't take it for granted.
Exactly. Yeah, I've always watched the little things in these games, man. You never know. You might learn something. You might see something you want to fade or see a team that you want to ride. What's up, Junior? Everything good with you, brother?
Yeah, man. Was checking out the action last night. I didn't see the Suns Jazz game, but I popped in a couple of these games. Really, the first quarter is what I'm interested in seeing. I thought Portland's lineup was pretty interesting. Just some stuff that we're probably going to go over right now. So I'll let you lead the way.
Exactly. I know the first game, I know we were talking about San Antonio could possibly keep it close, man. Like the Bucks Giannis, like he was in prime, you know what I'm saying? He was in mid-season form yesterday, which the Spurs, at first they kind of kept it close. And then, you got to keep in mind, man, these are 10-minute quarters. And then the Bucks go and put up 38 points in that third quarter, man. That's what you go and put up 113 points in 40 minutes. If it was a regular game, the boy probably put up a buck 40 or something. That's crazy, man. Spurs boy gonna have to work on their defense or something, man. They had like they was gonna come to play or something at first. Like I said, it was a tippy tap game, and then the Bucks just took off on them. Obviously, Giannis just did whatever he wanted, just played 20 minutes. Still did whatever he wanted, man. What you think about that game, Jordan? I know, did you watch any of it, or you know what I'm saying? What did you think about that game just by the box score? You know what I'm saying? Like how the Bucks look, even in a game that didn't matter, they still came out and smacked them up.
I didn't see it. I was pretty busy during the day yesterday, but I did see Drew Eubanks absolutely murder somebody on live television. So what was that,
Hey,
Giannis's
hey,
brother? I
hey.
believe that. That was scary. I hope he's okay, to be honest. But that was one of the nastiest dunks I've seen in a while. So at least we know we're back when we're seeing guys get posterized. But as Junior was saying earlier, that other day game, the Blazers and the Pacers was much more interesting because it does look like the Blazers are going to have a little more firepower than when they did. They're one of those teams that I think this restart really helps more than anybody, and we've kind of talked them up a little bit as the team that could make a run potentially at that 8th seed if the Pelicans can't do it or if the Grizzlies start to falter. So on the Pacers side, I'd really like to see them with any of their starting centers in the lineup. That would be nice. So I didn't really learn too much from them yesterday. But as far as that Spurs game goes, like the Spurs they weren't very good on defense before this restart happened, and so now no LaMarcus Aldridge. You got Pirtle and Eubanks and those guys, but they're going to play this as summer league type stuff. So they're going to be giving up a ton of points like this. I wouldn't read too much into the Bucks, just throwing up a bunch of them on them. But yeah, you're right, Jay. In a real game in 12-minute quarters, they could have easily put up buck 30, buck 35 even. So that was telling. We knew the Bucks were contenders though. That much has not changed at all in the 4 months that we've been off. They're healthy as long as they're getting their guys back. I think Bledsoe's going to get ready to go here pretty soon once they got everything in the fold. Yeah, they're not a surprise at all to see them put a hurt on the Spurs yesterday in the scrimmage atmosphere.
Exactly, Junior. What was you about to say about that nasty about Ebanks doing them like that, Junior? What you was going to say about that?
I was about to say, if somebody ever dunked on me like that, if the coach doesn't sub me out, I'm subbing myself out. I can't. You can't keep playing after someone disrespects your whole bloodline like that. That was criminal. That they should have put yellow tape across the court for a couple of minutes just in honor of that crime that got
Like a moment
committed
of
on
silence or something at least.
Giannis's brother. Giannis's brother needs to chill. But now Eubanks, that was pretty impressive. Eubanks played pretty strong in that game, if we're going to be honest. I want to focus on the Bucks because they're the real contenders, but Lonnie Walker looked pretty good for the Spurs. Lonnie Walker seems like he could get buckets and spurts. It's good to see what's his name Murray back, because he hasn't been able to get back to himself since the knee injury. So the Spurs had a couple things that they could be positive about. But as for the Bucks just look like they're ready to. They don't even want these 8 regular season games. The Bucks want the playoffs right now. So it's good to see that the Bucks are about their business.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it doesn't matter who they throw out there. It's pretty much that. I mean, they're a pretty deep team. The Bucks team this year, I think they're even deeper than they are last year than they were last year. 22 turnovers for the Spurs, pretty much main thing that was in the game. Only 12 turnovers for the Bucks. It's a main thing that I'm watching for. 22 for the Spurs, man. That was a bolo. Like I said, it got out of hand in the second half. Giannis had 22 points in pretty much 22 minutes, man. So he did whatever he do whenever, you know what I'm saying, whenever. Just come out waking up. Come right out the bed on them boys yawning. And I don't need to warm up. Come out here and smack you boy by 20 with no problem, man. What's up, Andrew G? What's up, Jerry? In here we got Gabriel Hernandez. What's up, Troy Jackson? Triple Z, Dina 45. What's up, our money? Just Jordan Sears, man. Abdul, are you serious, bro? He say I'm watching from county jail,
right?
bro. Abdul tripped out. Yeah. Hey, tell our bro I said what's up, man.
Hey, don't get put in the hole, son.
Yeah. Be safe. Be safe now.
What's up, Wham? Wham say he on the Lakers in Orlando support. I can dig it, Wham. What's up? Consistency X. I can dig it. Our money, Abdul say 6.5 years to just give me too long, man. Stay strong, my guy. Stay strong, man. I hope you playing. Abdul, no lie, man. He said I'm in county jail. Hey, I know I'm probably be on Facebook and stuff, so I don't know what they got going, but let's get to the next game, man. The Pacers and the Blazers. I know the Blazers, like, they came out the gate on them boys. I know I looked at it. It was like 20-9 right out the gate. They ended up after the first quarter, 29-9. And the Pacers in the second half, Oladipo started heating up. Another team got 30 points. And then, at the third quarter, some of these coaches, you can tell great coaches after halftime, they make the adjustments. They have their team ready, come out and put 30 points on them in the third quarter, and the rest was pretty much history, man. They end up getting the win there. Your Pacers, Jordan. What you think about that game? I know you know what I'm saying, probably didn't watch too many. I know I was pretty busy yesterday, but I know you went back and watched your guys. I watched one game, and that was my, the Mavs game. So what you think about how your Pacers looked yesterday, Jordan? We found out Oladipo was playing at the last minute.
Every Nate McMillan team, it doesn't matter who's out there, is going to, play hard. That's like one of I think the things about the NBA is you don't know what you're going to get from certain teams every night. I think you pretty much know the effort is going to be there from the Pacers almost every night. I think with Depot now playing these scrimmages, it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to be playing. I don't even know why we did the whole he's not playing thing to begin with, because, if he's feeling good and this team is at full strength and can get some of their guys back, like the Domas injury kind of scares me with the plantar fasciitis, because that's something you really can't control, and that's just something that will feel better and then just start hurting again like the next day. I've never had it, but I know a couple people who have, and they said it's just absolutely aggravating how it lingers. And so that's a little concerning, but we knew they were going to play hard regardless if this game counts or not. I think that's one of the things that you're going to get from the Pacers, regardless through this whole restart. So, that's the best thing I think I saw from them, is just the kind of the sheer will to kind of keep playing regardless of what kind of atmosphere you're in. So, when they get their guys healthy, I hope Miles Turner is ready to go here, hopefully by this next scrimmage, to get a look at him, because he's going to be a big factor in Illis. He gets dumped on a lot around here and across the country, basically, for what he isn't as a player. But what he is as a player is very good on the defensive end of the floor, if not one of the better defenders at that position in the league. So I really want to see. They really ride on Oladipo, but to be honest, he's probably one of him and Sabonis are their next 2 and 3 most important players. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get those guys back before the real games start.
Very interesting to see. A lot of people know Sabonis may be like one of the main key players for the Indiana Pacers, like low key. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, everybody gonna go to the guards. You're gonna look at Brogdon. Obviously, he's the main point guard, but Sabonis is a huge factor to what the Pacers do, man. They look a lot different without him out there.
Yeah.
What you got?
Real quick, that's not dumping on Brogdon either. That's just like they're just deep at guard. I'm not really. I think he's
especially with the pick and roll.
I didn't want that to be misconstrued at all.
Yeah, Sabonis with that pick and roll, man, is deadly. He a damn good defender too, man. I'm a fan of Sabonis, man. I say, boy, whatever, hey, boy, a baller. Yo, a baller always gonna recognize a true baller, man. What's up, Junior? What you think about that game? Portland got their three. I know Hassan Whiteside did sit out. I think he was ruled out there like right before the game, but the Pacers ended up getting it done. Oladipo looked nice out there, Junior.
Yeah, I mean, I know Whiteside has some kind of Achilles problem. I'll just say I'll stick to my comments with the Blazers because I was saying yesterday that's what I was most interested in seeing of all the games, and I kind of like that starting lineup that they had going out there. Like I said, if they could get, just think about it this way. I'm not the biggest Hassan Whiteside guy. Well, I don't like Hassan Whiteside. Let me just be realistic. But if you compare him with Nurkic now, you don't got to play him more than like 20 minutes a game. You could get 20 solid minutes out of Whiteside. You get 30 solid minutes out of Nurkic. Zach Collins has extended his range over his career. He seems like he can knock down some outside shots. You got something. They got something in Portland, man. I'm really interested in seeing them possibly compete for that 8 seed. I would prefer Memphis to make it because I just like young teams. But if Memphis doesn't make it, I wouldn't. I know New Orleans is the people's champ, and people want to see New Orleans. I don't have a problem with that either. But I wouldn't mind seeing Portland in there because Portland is a team that has playoff pedigree, and at least they'll make the Lakers work a little bit. They're going to lose, but at least they'll make them work a little bit.
Right, give them a. You just want to see somebody give them a run for their money, man. It's pretty much what you're saying.
Just make them sweat a little bit, bro.
Yeah,
Give LeBron a
exactly.
couple extra grays in that beard.
Exactly. Want to see somebody steal a game or two. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see an easy 4-0, man.
Yeah.
We want to see, you know what I'm saying, some good basketball. Even if y'all get swept, we want to see some close games, man. I don't want to see no blowouts. That's why the Pistons put teams like that at the house, man. So, and the Jazz, man, the way they looking, y'all probably should have stayed at the crib too, man. We talked about that, Junior. We talked about the Jazz. I mean, they come out there only mustered up 88 points against the Suns team, who's not exactly the best defensive team. Ricky Rubio didn't even play. I mean, you got Ty Jerome starting out there. No disrespect to him. I mean, nice player at Virginia, and I mean, not a bad player in the NBA. But I mean, come on, bro. I mean, like you said, Junior, Conley them got to step up. They missing Bogdanovich out there hugely, man. I mean, their bench was already Clarkson. Come on, bro. You shotgunning too many beers. In my opinion, they shouldn't have got done like that. I mean, it was never even a game, even in the first quarter. From the first quarter, I could tell the Jazz days, I don't know, Junior. We talked about this yesterday, and then them boys just come out there and lay an egg. Even though it's scrimmage, they got to come out there and try to get some, you know what I'm saying, some camaraderie, try to build something, especially that Bogdanovich. I mean, you 6.5 favorites. You lose by 13, Junior. What's going on, man?
I said it before and I'll say it again. If you guys are online as much as I am, Jazz fans are some of the most aggressive fans when you try to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, the Jazz are not legit, et cetera, et cetera. The Jazz are a type of team they can't afford to lose any of their top like 3 to 5 pieces. You feel me? Like Bogdanovich on if you just if he was, for example, Bogdanovich is a former Pacer. If the Pacers lost Bogdanovich, I feel like they could still cope. You know what I'm saying? Utah is not built like that. Utah is built like Donovan Mitchell got to basically be Superman, and he's not that. Like, he gets compared to Dwayne Wade a lot, and I can see why, because he's a smaller guard who plays much bigger than his size. The problem is he's got to shoot like 25 times for them to stay in games, and like, that's not the formula. That's not the formula at all. They need a team. They need a defensive effort and a bunch of guys contributed. And right now, without Bogdanovich, unless Joe Ingles or Mike Conley steps up to what and plays up to their potential, these guys are in a lot of trouble, in my opinion. A lot of trouble.
You're right, man. And I'm seeing a lot, man. And I'm going to tell you, it's first game of the season is coming. It's coming quick, man. People going to be like, oh, it's no Zion. Hey, it's right now. The Jazz versus the Pelicans, man. The Pelicans are much. There's no way that the Jazz could keep up with the Pelicans' offense right now. Let me just say that. And you saw it; they couldn't even keep up with the Suns last night. So I mean, it's just, you better watch. Y'all better watch, man. What you think, Jordan?
Yeah, this Jazz team, I think we were all pretty bearish on them going into this restart because you take Bogdanovich off this roster, and now you have really only Conley and Mitchell as your only two somewhat reliable 3-point shooters that unless Ingles is in the starting lineup. So I mean, like it's just you can't take a team that struggled to shoot sometimes, or at least was streaky at times, and take away your best, most consistent shooter and expect to be successful in this day and age in the NBA. And I mean, I love Donovan Mitchell, and I think he can be that lead guy, that number one guy on a playoff, a deep playoff team. But it's just without Conley, like Junior just hit the nail on the head right at the end of what he was talking about. If Conley or Ingles don't step up and start scoring for this team consistently 15, 20 points a game, they're toast. They're done in the first round. The West is too deep. It's too good. And in this neutral atmosphere where you're not going to have your home court, which is probably to be honest, other than maybe Miami and Philly, Utah is the next team that has hurt the most. Yeah, I'm still. Nothing has changed from my thoughts on the Utah Jazz right now. And we kind of knew the Suns are going to be a glorified summer league team, but I mean, like, yeah, I'm still not convinced of the Jazz. It's going to take a lot of work for me to be convinced the Jazz are a bet on team once we get to real games.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, I'm hoping. Hey, I've been looking into stuff. I hope Zion ain't in there. We're gonna get some damn good value, my guy. Because Pelicans one of them teams where they could miss him, man. I'm just getting fast forward. You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about some big money stuff, man. But we're gonna see, man, how the Jazz team look. But as of now, I'm looking at the Pelicanos, as my guy Junior would say, man. The last game yesterday, man, I thought the Lakers was going to tap my Mavs. And like I say, they looked damn good in the first half. What they was up by 11 points. I'm going into the half. Obviously, LeBron and AD was only going to play the first half. Lakers are a pretty deep team, but they're just totally different without LeBron and AD on the floor. Maybe in spurts, 2-3 minutes could possibly, trade wars or whatever, but not for the whole second half. You can tell 33-19 right out the gate. Seth Curry got high, 6 for 6 from three. He looked like his brother. He looked better than his brother or something. You know what I'm saying? After he said, hey, look, you ain't even here right now. I'm still playing, baby. But nah, boys get the win 108-104. The Mavs look pretty good out there. You got Boban out there, look good. But what the heck? But he had nice 17 points. It's shooting threes, boy, hitting turnarounds, getting blocks. Boy, look, the ball looks so small in his hand, man. It looks crazy. What you think, Jordan? Did you catch any highlights of that Mavs versus Lakers game?
This is one I actually watched a little bit of in the first half, so I actually feel a little bit more confident what I'm about to say here. So, let's just take it from the Lakers standpoint. Nothing has changed in the Lakers. We knew they were going to be kind of a slow, gradual build up to the restart. This is one of the oldest teams in the league. They're going 3/4 speed right now. They're not taking any chances in these games right now. They have their eye on the prize. I don't think you can deduct much from watching what we saw from the Lakers yesterday. However, now what I'm about to say may have something to do with that. But what I was getting to is the Dallas Mavericks look great, and we were kind of talking about them as kind of one of those sleeper teams in the Western Conference, one of those 4 or 5 seed teams that could upset a higher seeded team potentially, or at least give them a very deep run for their money. And we talked about without Dwight Powell and without Willie Cauley-Stein down there, and Boban dropping double doubles. This team, I mean, the holes that we thought they had, if Boban's playing like that, granted, it was against a bigger team in the Lakers, and the matchup was there for him to succeed. So I'd like to see him against some smaller lineups. Like, I don't think you can run Boban out there all they did, like against the Houston Rockets, for instance. But the Mavs look deadly. Another thing, without Jalen Brunson, Seth Curry stepping up. I mean, this team, the holes we thought they had are filling. That they can still be creative with some of their lineups. I'm definitely a lot more bullish on the Dallas Mavericks after last night. I don't know if I'm gonna get too excited, but they look good. I know your team looked good, Jay. I have to give them that. They really didn't miss a beat last night.
Hey, D-Town, baby. Hey, guys. I didn't think they had it in the list. Honestly, I didn't even think Seth Curry was gonna play, to be honest with you. And he come out there and go 8 for 8, 6 for 6 free. So he, in my opinion, he was the sole difference in that game. In my opinion, what you think, Junior? Boy, Curry went off. Boy, showed his. Hey, look at the name on the back of that jersey, boy.
Yeah, I told you yesterday I was buying stock in your boys, and what'd you say yesterday? You said that y'all about to leapfrog the Rockets. I think y'all about to leapfrog the Jazz. I don't want to get too carried away, but let's just be realistic. Are the Jazz, the Thunder, and who is it? Jazz, Thunder, and Rockets. They're basically like 2 to 3 games ahead of the Mavs. Are those teams that much better than the Mavs? I don't believe
No.
that. I think that the Mavs are dangerous, man. The Mavs are dangerous, and depending on the first round matchup, I'm going to be putting a healthy amount of money on them making the second round for sure. As far as the Lakers go, business as usual. They're only thinking about one thing: championship or bust. I thought it was pretty interesting that Quinn Cook got most of the minutes at backup point guard and not the people's champ Alex Caruso. I'm not sure
He
what
was
that's
out,
about, but
bro. They ruled him out right before the game. Junior tripped out.
is that what happened? Oh, they ruled him out. Okay, okay.
Right,
I
right
thought
before
he
the
got
game.
benched. I
Caruso,
wasn't
yep.
sure.
Yeah, 30 minutes for the game.
Okay, okay.
Caruso not playing.
But listen, Quinn Cook though he showed in his last year at Golden State that he's a decent guard. You could plug him in there for a couple minutes, get some production. So probably good for the Lakers to get him a run out. LeBron business as usual. Same thing with AD. JaVale McGee looked pretty good. The Lakers are looking at the playoffs. They're not really too interested in anything but that. So not surprised to see AD and LeBron sit out the first half. I mean the second half. I don't think they'll be doing that too much moving forward, but I wouldn't expect them guys to play more than like 20 to 25 minutes a game in these scrimmages, though.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't say them boys look good in that first half, though, man. Like I said, them boys they look like they came out there, you know what I'm saying, with ease. Just pretty much, hey, come out there, play our game. And like I say, had a double-digit lead at the half. So, I mean, if you're just looking at it, like I say, it's a lot of different ways you look at it. You look when they got their full teams, and obviously second half, it's just like you look at like an NFL preseason game. And then you got to look at the deep roster, see who the, you know what I'm saying, who the second quarterback gonna be, Tyson. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all know what I mean, man. I ain't even big on football, but still, y'all do what I'm saying. 3 games today, though, man. 3 games today. Let's get to this first one, man. Memphis versus Philly. I know I saw it somewhere it was Philly -6, so I see -5.5 now total. It's starting to get up now on these totals. They know Memphis gonna run their gun though. You got total 195. Philly's at home. They're at home. They're not at home though. So I don't know. I mean, they land 6 points. Obviously, they much bigger team than Memphis, but it'll be interesting to see. Be interesting to see gun my head. I'm not taking Philly land 6 though, and not in anywhere other than arena. I gotta watch this one, or it's it's Memphis for me. Jordan, my guy, your team. What's up? But we know they just lost Winslow, man. I really like to see them with Winslow in here because they don't have Jay Crowder anymore. In my opinion, that was their swap. So it's gonna be tough for Memphis, but they do have a young, hungry team. I mean, Jammin looking good in the practice games. What you think they can stay within 5 points here, 5.5 points?
Yeah, I do. I think it really depends on how much they put like minutes wise on like Embiid and stuff like that. It'll be probably the key factor in whether or not you're betting this game on the Grizzlies side and taking points here. Because if you got an edge in that aspect and you kind of know what you think Philly's rotation is going to be, and maybe they do something similar to what the Lakers did. But the one thing I am concerned about though is like we talked about this too before we went on air. Like now with Shake Milton in the starting lineup for this Philly team and Ben Simmons down at the power forward, they're going to be, I think, a lot more dynamic. And the fact is, I think they're going to really like sub Simmons out early and probably run him a lot with the second unit at the point guard position. And I think that is going to be a much deadlier rotation for them spacing wise, pushing the pace, and obviously the fast break as well. They were already very good at fast break points. I think they're going to be even better now. So the Grizzlies kind of being a smaller team in the backcourt now. I mean, Kyle Anderson's a really good defender, but he's about the only guy that's kind of a big wing defender that they have now with Winslow not available and Jay Crowder obviously gone. That is the biggest thing I have against Philly because, man, Philly's got like big wings for days. Like they got Matisse Thybulle, I can't pronounce his last name. Thybulle, I think is how you say his last name. Coming off the bench, has been reportedly looking really good. I'm excited to watch this game because I think both teams are going to look really nice. I think they're going to be, two teams that we can bet on in the future. I just don't know which one to pick, for this scrimmage right now. And as I said, it's the first game for them. I'm probably not firing away at all, but I wouldn't put it past the Grizzlies to be able to cover just because in the second half, you could really see Philly kind of, take their foot off the gas a little bit and start to play some of their younger guys.
Exactly. And we know when it comes to that, then Memphis might have the edge there. I mean, Philly got some good young guys, but we know they, pretty short at guard. So if it gets to the point where it's like I could see this being like the Lakers game yesterday. Philly getting up, double-digit lead when all the starters and all the good guys. Then when they rest some guys, unless you want to go balls to the wall, if you will, If not, man, with the young guys, Memphis really has the edge. I could see them still playing Ja Morant in the second half. It's just because I mean, you look at the game yesterday for the Mavs, they had Luka and Porzingis starting the second half. I mean, so their guys are still starting the second half, even while the other team, you know what I'm saying, pulled their players. So interesting to see, man. I'm pretty sure depending on your book, you can do some live bets too. I know I saw Indiana at one point at plus 9.5 yesterday on Bovada. But like I said, I was out doing all type of stuff. Before you know it, them boys had to leave, man. So that was pretty crazy. What you think about this one, Junior? You think Memphis, the young team here, probably have a little bit more, pep in their step here, Junior?
Yeah, I think it's Memphis or nothing for a couple of different reasons here. First of all, Brett Browne said before this game earlier that he's only going to play his most important players 20 minutes tops. So that already kind of answers one of your questions right there. Like, whereas in my opinion, Memphis is not in a position where they could be resting players. They're like Memphis has all the pressure in the sense that what you guys know when you listen to the talk, nobody's talking about, oh, Memphis is most likely going to make the playoffs. Instead, people are talking about who's going to challenge Memphis for that 8 spot. So Memphis is not in a position where they could say, oh, we got a lot of playoff experience. They have none, right? The only guy on their team with playoff experience is Jonas Valanciunas. They're a team that has to come out, find a rhythm, get them legs going, and run. They're a running team. They when you watch their games, they're a team that struggles when the opposition makes them play half-court basketball. When they can get out and run, they got athletes. They got guys, John Morant, Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. They got that high flyer that used to play for Gonzaga. I forget his name right now. You guys know what I'm talking about. They got some bodies. They can move, and I just feel like just from a handicap standpoint, they're not an organization that's in a position where they could be like, oh, we got to rest our key guys. Nah, bro, your guys need reps and as many reps as possible. So I expect to see the Memphis starters definitely play in the third quarter, which means that I get to take points. It's Memphis or nothing.
Right. What's called everything? Is everything good with Dylan Brooks? And you didn't hear about any injuries? I'm Jordan, mate, 'cause I know I know them your guys right there. You hadn't heard of? I know that Brandon Clark should be back for sure. Jaren Jackson the third. I heard that what I'm saying that they're pretty much good to go. They've recovered from their injuries. What you think about Dylan Brooks, Jordan? You think pretty much everybody? And I agree with that, Junior. Like you say, I think it could be pretty much the exact same thing like the ladies game yesterday. Memphis still had their starters in the third quarter. 76ers and sat a couple guys in Embiid, mostly in Embiid, I'm pretty sure. There's no reason why you would run them into the wall, especially somebody that's injury prone. What you think? Just last question about this one.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be full go today. It just, I mean, they could hold out of maybe some of their veterans like Valanciunas or something last second, but I mean, I think like Junior was saying, it's really going to be a rhythm question for them. So I mean, it looks like Grayson Allen's fully recovered. I know Brandon Clark is who Junior was thinking of earlier. He had a quad injury I think back in March I think he was either out or had just come back or something like that when the pandemic hit, and he looks to be okay. They even got Jonte Porter participating in practices too, because that could give them a little more depth up front as well. So I mean, I think they're going to run this as like pretty standard preseason game. Like they need to get their rhythm back and push the pace here. And I think the Sixers are going to have no problem accepting that pace. So it could be a game where I think you're going to see not a lot of defense and maybe a lot of pace. It could be an over. I don't know what the total's sitting at here for this scrimmage, but I mean we know it's going to be lax anyways defensively. So it could be even more if they're pushing the pace up to 102, 103 type thing.
Right, and I find it interesting that at home, on February 7th, 2020, obviously this year, Philly was favored by 6.5 at the house, and now we're on a neutral site and it's 5.5. So, in my opinion, I don't think that's enough adjustment. In my opinion, like I said, I think we all agree Memphis or nothing, man. This game, OKC versus Boston. I was trying to read up a few things on this. I know Kemba Walker for sure is not playing at point guard. He's not starting. He's not playing this game at all for Boston. I think pretty much everybody for OKC is going to be playing this one. So we know that Boston is a deep team. We know that that what I'm saying that they've had experience with Kemba Walker out. Boston 1.5 total of 184.5. Be interesting to see what you think about this one, Junior. Any thoughts on this one? This Celtics versus OKC game.
Yeah, I don't have. I mean, I don't have a pick for the simple fact that I'm not really sure who's playing. Kind of need to know who's playing. I think that from a standpoint of just the team outlooks, OKC is one of those teams that I don't think anybody really wants them in the first round because the whole makeup of that squad, they just look like they're ready to take on all comers. They got that weird guard lineup where they could throw CP3, the German kid, Schroeder, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. All three of them are point guards. All three of them can play off the ball. I feel like that's one of the things that caught a lot of teams by surprise, on top of the fact that they D up. So I think that the Thunder, I can't imagine CP3 is going to play more than 20 minutes in this game, right? As for the rest of their guys, I just don't know who's going to be in there. And as far as the Celtics, I mean, listen, I got a lot of friends that are Celtics fans. They should be really concerned about Kemba Walker's knee. Kemba Walker's been having a knee problem since the All-Star game. Since the All-Star game, he's not been right. They've been off for 3 months, and his knee's still not right. So what you're going to tell me his knee's going to be right in 10 days from now? Clearly, there's a problem, right? So if there's no Kemba, they're already a really small team. They're another one of those teams. They can't really afford to lose one of them. Between Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, and a guy from Utah. I'm sorry, guys. Broke his leg. Got traded from Utah. You know what I'm talking about. The dude that broke his leg for the Celtics. Sorry, guys. My mind's going blank right now.
Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
Thank you. You guys looking at me like I lost my mind. Yeah. So.
No, I'm just trying to see. You said when you said broke his leg,
right? If Gordon
and
Hayward,
he said for Jazz, I'm trying to think of the person that's on the Jazz right now that broke their leg. And I'm like, oh no, you talking about this on the Celtics? Oh, okay, yeah, got you. No, I dig what you said.
No, that's my bad.
Gordon Hayward.
I'm so bad with names, but yeah, Gordon Hayward, he's the X factor. If they could get Gordon, because he's had an extra 3 months to get back in shape. Now it's been 2 years since that injury. You guys saw glimpses of it, right? When Gordon Hayward was clicking, the Celtics are smacking teams. If Kemba Walker's going to be out, it can't be once in a while. They're going to need some consistency from Gordon Hayward. It's not his fault he gets paid big money, but he gets paid like a superstar. So if they're not going to get superstar production out of Gordon Hayward, it's going to be rough for them because to me, there's a little bit of a gap between the Bucks and the Raptors and the rest of the East. And the Celtics are kind of the closest to touching that top position. And I just think that without their full roster, plus they're so damn small, I don't know, man. It's going to be rough. What y'all think about that?
Now, you do mention a good point there because the last thing I had to say about this one, in my opinion, is Celtics are nothing but like you say. I mean, I feel like if CP3 is not going to play the second half, I don't see why you would run Steven Adams in the wall either. I do see that Nerlens Noel is possibly questionable for this game. He possibly might not play, so that's another big off the bench that you're not going to have. I really feel like after Steven Adams, they don't really have a whole lot of size. I mean, because Steven Adams and then Nerlens Noel, that's pretty much their two big guys. When Adams goes out, you need Noel. I mean, then pretty much after when they don't have, then you have to kind of move a power forward into a center spot. They still have a good center out there, but I mean, they're not Noel or Adams. And we know Adams, obviously, he's a huge difference maker. OKC looks a lot different than him. But in my opinion, it's Celtics are nothing for me, man. That's the way that I would be looking. But like you say, I mean, they are pretty small. You got Cantor, but I mean, you got Cantor. They got one more, Tice. Yeah, they got Tice as well. So in my opinion, I'm looking at the Celtics here. Even without Kemba here, I would be looking towards the Celtics side. Get to the last one, guys. Let's get to this. Jordan, you didn't say what you think about this one? This Celtics versus OKC game. My bad, Jordan.
No, you're good. I'd be real quick because I know we got to get to this last game. I would say from the Thunder side, I think you guys are on the right track. I think from the Thunder side, I'd be very surprised if we see a whole lot from Chris Paul, Steven Adams, or Gallinari tonight. I think, especially with Gallinari's injury history, he's another guy we haven't talked about yet. He's definitely not playing a lot. They got too much money invested in Chris Paul and Steven Adams to be, and aspirations of being a team that gets to the second round. I don't think they're going to push them here in this first scrimmage. That being said, they got a lot of young guys that they can throw out there at you, though. Mike Muscala is the guy I think you were thinking of, Jay, of who is going to come in probably in the second half and play most of the center minutes and be jacking about 8 threes in the second half. So, I mean, they got some firepower. if the Celtics take this game seriously, though, like they do most of the time under Brad Stevens, they probably will win. But yeah, it's just one of those. I'm probably I would probably fade this game out of all the ones on the betting card today for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I know I'm going to be watching this game for sure, man. I think it'll be a pretty good one. I got to read into it more. A lot of these teams that are like the beat writers, they don't really put out like the scrimmage plan until maybe 1 hour, 2 hours before the game. So I mean, right after the show, I'll probably go and look up some stuff, see if some guys will tip their hat to see, you know what I'm saying, as far as some people not playing the second half or things of that nature. But for the most part, you can kind of read into it. You know that most of these older players are not just going to be obviously not playing the whole game. Or some of these teams, there's really no reason to even bring some of the players out after the second half. There's really just no reason. Let them get their feet wet this first game, and pretty much maybe the second game you may see a little bit more. One more, man. We got the Rockets versus the Raptors, man. -1 for the pretty much a virtual pick 'em for both the games, but you got Raptors -1. And I can't honestly say when I was looking at these games last night, I was thinking that the Raptors probably should take this one. Obviously, the Rockets still run their small ball. They do have Westbrook. He's only had 2 practices on his belt, but he is going to be back. We know he's going to be ready to go, but it's pretty much Westbrook or Harden pretty much have to go bunkers in this one, in my opinion. For them to, I mean, unless the Raptors decided they want to sit some guys, maybe a Van Fleet or somebody like that. But I mean, we know that they're just going to have a huge size advantage, huge rebound advantage, huge defensive advantage as far as around the rim. I mean, what you think about this one, Jordan? You think the Raptors will probably run all their guys? We know they're kind of, you know what I'm saying, cemented right there in the East. Do they care enough? Or do they care enough in this one, Jordan? That's another thing that you have to look for when a team is like cemented in their spot. They're not really fighting for it.
I think the Raptors are definitely, if you're going to bet on this game, I wouldn't touch the Rockets. I don't touch the Rockets most of the time, even when things were not crazy like this. But just from like, this is how I kind of have a thought process on this one. The Raptors were the first team down in the bubble. They've been talking, I think Fred VanVleet was on record back like late May, like Memorial Day-ish, talking about we want to start the season. We want to get the season started. We want to defend our championship. We want to shut all you people up who think we aren't good enough to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I mean, like, if that tells me anything, it's like I think they're going to be motivated as any team in these scrimmages to come back, start punching people in the mouth again and say, look, we're here, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to be a real tough out in the playoffs if you think you have what it takes. I think they're going to start making an example of some teams here in a little bit. So I'd be scared if I was Houston here, who probably, you know, Westbrook's just getting back, ramped up. Harden has been down there for a little while, but he was a late arrival. They're a team that doesn't take the first quarter of games too seriously anyways. I mean, like, you could see the Raptors in that jumbo lineup they've been talking about using with Siakam, Gasol, and Ibaka, just, you know, crushing them down low on the rebounds and in the paint. I mean, it could be nasty. I mean, if they're trying to run small ball the whole time, I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein, if they put him in, it's over. So, I mean, I can't find, like I said, I don't know if I'm betting this game, but I'm sitting here talking myself into it because if the Raptors take it seriously and are motivated like I think they are, I think 1 point is probably a bargain at this point. I don't know if I'm going to fire, but like I said, I'm sitting here talking myself into it. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, I'm not huge on Austin Rivers, but I mean, he's just another player. It's just another. If you like the Raptors, it's another. I mean, not saying something. I know something happened with his family. Not glad anything happened. I mean, prayers up to him. You know, so I hope everything goes well. But he did leave the bubble. Just saying. The fact of the matter that he's not with the team, he won't be out there with the Rockets. So, I mean, it's just another player that they're down. And you have to remember that P.J. Tucker is their center. So, I mean, it's just tough, man. I think that the Raptors is the best. In my opinion, I think that's the game that I would go with today. I would go with the Raptors. I think that's where I see the most lopsided matchup, if you will. I do think Memphis would be Memphis getting the 6 points. I like that one. You know what I'm saying? I like the Celtics. I would have to take them to -1.5. And I like the Raptors, man, with the -1. Obviously, these just scrimmages. Can't read too much into it. If you lose whatever money you bet on, you can't even get too mad because it's you decide to bet on a scrimmage game. You dig what I'm saying? So what you think, Junior? What you think on this one? You really – I know what you're going to say, Junior. Man, I say the wrong thing, man. I might have to end the show real quick, Junior. What you think, man? And Harden missing the strip club. I'm telling you that right now. Harden missing the strip club. That's why he came late. He had to get all of that out, you know what I'm saying? Because he ain't going to be able to – he's going to have to FaceTime him or something. You ain't be able to go to the strip club, my God. It can't come to you, brother. So Harden gonna be hurting after a while, man. So tell you that's why he came late, Junior. He had to get all that out. What you think, Raptors say or what?
Hey, but speaking of Houston and strip clubs, I'm gonna send you some later. Do you see that they open up drive-through strip clubs in Houston?
This guy here,
You
man,
get
they all the way
you get
open
two
here in
songs.
Dallas,
You get
bro.
two
They all the
songs to
way
keep it
open.
moving.
They open.
Anyway, as for this game, Russell Westbrook is playing. I just read that earlier, right before we came on. I think I want to talk about something that Jordan was saying though. The Raptors still feel disrespected. I don't want to say disrespect. That's not the word. They just got a chip on their shoulder. They feel
Yeah.
like everybody's saying that, yeah, they're the champions, but they didn't beat the real Warriors. Even though nobody really talks about the Warriors won their first chip when Kyrie had a broken kneecap and Kevin Love was out. But that's fine. That's cool. The Raptors want respect. I don't think the Raptors are going to win the championship again, but I'm just talking about mentality. The Raptors are going to take every single scrimmage serious. They're going to take all 8 regular season games serious. There is no days off on this team. Nick Nurse is a serious dude. And most importantly, it's the first time that all of the Raptors are healthy since day 1 of the season. The entire season, they've been losing guys. Gasol got hurt. Ibaka got hurt. Powell got hurt. Kyle Lowry got hurt. Everybody on their team, literally, except for Pascal Siakam, has been hurt at one point in the season. And they're still, what, third best record in the NBA? So I just think that from a mentality standpoint, because that's one of the things we always kind of try to figure out, right? How are these teams going to take these scrimmages? Even if the Raptors sit their starters, their second unit is better than most teams' second unit. So I think his Raptors are nothing in this game.
And
I'm
it's
not talking
crazy
about the
you say
Rockets.
that.
I hate that team. So get them out of my
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
No
all.
need. No
I've
need.
been thinking about this one all night. This is the one that I've been thinking about, the Raptors. But I'm on RotoWire, and so the expected lineup, and it just tripped me out. They got Kyle Lowry, Terrence Davis, Patrick McCall, OG Anunoby, and Serge Ibaka. So I'm just wondering because it says no injuries, but I mean obviously it's just RotoWire and it's just a scrimmage game, so it's not like this is the for sure lineup. But it just tripped me out that was the expected lineup. For Boston, it says Carson Edwards, Brandon Wanamaker, Ojale, Greg Williams, and then Robert Williams. So I don't know, it just tripped me out. For Memphis and Philly, though, it has the two pretty much starters, though, the regular starters lineups. And Houston and OKC, it has the regular stars. But Boston and Toronto, for some reason, their lineup is it's a little quirky. But still, Junior said something there, even with that Toronto lineup. I mean, you got Ibaka and Anunoby in there. They getting all the boards. They better. You better not let PJ Tucker go and punk you. I know he the shoemaster, but better not let him go punk you, man. But that's the games today, man. That's the games today, Jordan. Tell them where they can find you at, man. And if you liked, you say if there was one pick that you would like today, or you know what I'm saying, the closest one you have been on, which one would it be, Jordan?
Yeah, it's got to be the Raptors if you're firing today. I like the Grizzlies. It's just not as safe a bet against the Sixers team that we know can be good. So I think it's probably the Raptors here if you're going to fire today. You can find me on Twitter, handles in the lower third there. I also wrote up an article on SBR on the Houston and Raptors game, which I basically kind of say the similar thing on. And that I wrote it up earlier, though, so I didn't think Russell Westbrook was going to be in. But to be honest, it doesn't change my mind in this one. I think that just helps. Like Junior was saying, the Raptors just have a chip on their shoulder. And in a game where the other team is not motivated and you are motivated in basketball, that usually means the motivated team is going to win, regardless of if the rosters are equal or not. And in this case, the Raptors have a better roster. They may not have the top guys that the Rockets have, but they certainly have the depth, much, much more depth, especially in the front court than the Rockets have. So I think that plays tonight.
Exactly. Yep. That's basically how we feel, man. Junior, tell them where they can find you at, brother. And if there was one bet tonight that you would make that you were closest to, what would that be? And what are you gonna be watching for tonight's game, brother?
Yeah, my handle's right there on the screen below the name. Always writing for stuff for SBR. Can't wait for the season to get started. I'm sure Jordan feels the same way. We ramp up the content. As far as tonight, I want to say something because I was just a little bit unprofessional in saying I just hate the Rockets, so I'm not going to talk about them. The reason why I think the Raptors are a good bet tonight is because in a regular season game on a night where you look at the Rockets, you're like the Rockets should win. What do we always question on this show? Are they motivated? How's their effort? Well, if that's a question during the regular season, what am I going to think is going to happen in an exhibition game? So I can't possibly take the Rockets, and at the same time, I would take the Raptors based on the fact that, like I said, I don't think they're going to take any days off, any minutes, quarters, nothing. They're going to play hard every single game.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the Rockets, if they even look like they care even a little bit. But I'll be honest with you guys. Before talking with you guys, I like the Raptors tonight in this particular. I might go put a little hot $50 on or something. If there was a bet tonight that I like the most, first it would be the Raptors. Second, it would be the Grizzlies. It'd nice to be to get +6 but +5.5, and then the Celtics minus the 1.5. Not messing with the totals right now, man. Y'all stay up, man. Stay safe, man. Visit SBRpicks.com, man, or click the link in the description. Y'all hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if y'all like the content, man. Head over there and check out the articles as well. We all gonna have some articles up there pretty soon, and make sure y'all come back and check us out tomorrow as well, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Jammin with J Money.